Warning: this program is intended for adults of legal drinking age. Whiskey is consumed and discussed. The intent is to educate our palates on the differences of whiskey flavors and not an intent to get drunk. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joseph Limbaugh, and this is I Fucking Love Whiskey, where we take whiskey and we fucking love it. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Andrew Pierce.
Hello, I'm Andrew, and I also fucking love whiskey. And today we have a very special guest. We have Mr. Bryan Green, and we're going to learn all about him in the next hour.
And I fucking love whiskey too.
He also fucking loves whiskey. So we're doing well so far. 3 out of 3.
Off to a good start.
Yeah. It's a good start. It's a good start. Yeah. Well, let's not
wait.
Let's not wait. Let's, yeah.
What are we doing?
We're trying this.
Let's not mince words as he was about to mince some words.
Rusty Claymore washed up on the beach, 4.246. This is a Highland Park. Woohoo! Very excited for this one.
Yeah.
SMWS, as always, is exciting, and everything we're tasting today is Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Rusty Claymore washed up on the beach. Wow, that's just smooth as that's like smooth with a little bit of spice in there. Oh man, that's nice.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, look at Ryan's fancy glass. It's like, wow. You will nose this as none have nosed it before.
Yeah, these blender glasses, like these tulips, they're great. They're a little impractical, and for the cask strength ones, they're a little bit too high intensity. But like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I've been breaking my Glencairns. I've been loving my whiskey a little too much.
Wow.
What is that?
This nose.
That is such a great nose. There's like a spice in there, and I don't know what it is.
Like almost a marmalade.
Really salty.
Yeah, it does. It is salty. It's almost like like a marmalade or some sort of like almost savory citrus dessert. Like a buttery toast with marmalade on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that heat doesn't really come through as much as you think it would, honestly.
Yeah, and this is 57%, so you would think
my nose right in there.
Yeah, but
especially
this is smooth.
In this glass, yeah.
It's like, it's that old thing of like, people, it's like, oh, that's smooth, but it's interesting that I would say that about the nose.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very smooth nose.
Yeah, very pleasant first stop. I'm going in.
Looks pretty thick in the glass too.
Oh. A little effervescent peat.
Oh.
There's that Rusty Claymore they were talking about. No, it does. It tastes like a bit like rusty iron.
A bit like rust. Yeah.
Wow. That is a good bottling of Highland Park.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. I mean, I think if I didn't know it was Highland Park, I would have a hard time identifying it as that. This is not what I would consider a typical profile for them.
For sure.
Wow.
On the finish, it kind of comes up, and you're like, okay, I can kind of get that a little bit. That salt shows up a little bit more. Like, they've got that interesting, like, sort of background peat that I think they do really well. That like sort of peaks its head up.
Right, the Highland peat that is, the islands peat, which is a lot of like low level plants, not many.
There's a bit of a sensation like I'm chewing on tinfoil.
Really thick, really like a lot of mouthfeel in here, which I like.
Not super greasy.
No.
Tech Bobot in the chat is asking, where's the glass from?
This is just a glass ordered off Alibaba from, we got these as part of the Los Angeles Whiskey Club that I drink with. And so we all like gave each other blended named glasses. So shout out to Los Angeles Whiskey Club.
Nice. Andy Smith.
The Los Angeles Whiskey Club.
And Andy Smith, right?
No, different one, but also involved there.
Okay.
This is done by this group is run primarily with Stephen and Ken Becks. They run a furniture company in Los Angeles, small, handcrafted, really gorgeous, semi-industrial feeling furniture, all handmade in LA too. Really high quality stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, check them out, and check out Los Angeles Whiskey Club if you're in LA. So we'd love to have you.
Ooh, yeah, it definitely like has like a coppery. There's like a coppery flavor to it. Like I almost taste a little bit of blood in there, as I, you know.
Wow.
All I know is that this is pairing really well with the barbecue that I had for lunch. And it was not an intentional pairing, but that smoke on smoke is.
What doesn't pair well with barbecue? Barbecue is, if I was gonna have another show, it would be I fucking love barbecue, like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
I lived in Atlanta for 4 years, so you know.
We've got a brighter one coming up at the end of this tasting, and I'm not sure if African Safari would be, but we'll see.
That's the last one. That's our last one, right?
I'm interested to see what made them go to an African Safari on that. Like, just what tasting notes. Oh, this is really nice.
This is really nice. I love this whiskey.
Musty Claymore washed up on the beach.
I fucking love whiskey.
Yeah. And there's the beach too. There's like, you know, that salt, right? That we were smelling and tasting.
A lot of like, I get like a lot of like straw and like bale, like hay bales.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Barnyard Feedback Loop a little bit.
Wow, that's a good memory for nose. I can kind of see that. What kind of house, Joseph? Where are you going with this one?
I mean, this house is on the beach for sure. I kind of see it's like a shack, like on a deserted island that you've put together with driftwood. You know, but nice. Like, I'm glad to be away from people, and I'm glad I'm on this deserted island, sort of a, you know.
And you built it out of logs that washed up from the shore that have been soaking up all that character of the ocean, that brine, that seaweed, that weird maritime funk you kind of get a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's in there, right? And maybe an oily tarp as your roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some flotsam from whatever shipwreck, you know, crashed out there, bits and bobs. And a rusty claymore, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a little science on this.
Yeah, let's see if the water comes through.
I'm gonna do it too.
And we've made Marie Soleil hungry. All the food descriptions. I think the heat appears in the nose a lot more.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That's weird. Yeah.
And there's more of that.
Yeah, get the tingliness up in the nose hairs. Yeah.
There's more of an edge to the flavor too. More of that bite, that acid almost, I think, in the nose.
Wow. Oh,
it's quite different.
A lot creamier too.
Oh, in the mouthfeel, a lot creamier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Still that heat at the end now. I feel like maybe in a little bit more heat.
Yeah, the water's not supposed to make things sharper and hotter.
Whoa. Yeah, there's a bite at the end. Maybe because it's so creamy at first. Maybe I'm just noticing it more because it is like it's got that I'm sliding in, but then I'm biting it. It's like it's like that sort of smooth start and a bite on the end.
Yeah, there's some like weird chemical reaction going here or something like. I don't know.
It's crazy. One drop of water in it. Wow.
Yeah, it's like it just like unleashed a beast in here. Like I don't.
Andrew, do you want to read the notes for this one, or do you want me to?
Why don't you go ahead? Since we both have them.
Let's see what SMWS has to say about this. Rusty Claymore, washed up on the beach. Aromas of singed orange peel, Jolly Rancher cinnamon fire hard candy, as well as grapefruit and ginger potpourri at first, before a rusty iron claymore and a quill bureau made out of reclaimed fur appeared. There's more. I'm not even halfway through.
Oh God.
On the palate, it felt like one big aromatherapy treatment, inhaling fruity mango and papaya, as well as floral, heather and lavender, essential oils, with a cup of Russian caravan tea. Water added maritime characters in the form of sea spray, rock pools, and a flinty beach on the nose, whilst to taste now a delicious leftover lamb sandwich seasoned with flaky salt and roasted for 20 minutes in an oven. I agree with all that.
20 minutes though? I think it was 21. I would say 21.
Roasted for 20 minutes. I say 20 minutes.
And I want to know what temperature the oven was at and how it fluctuated, because if we're talking 450,
no, it's a leftover lamb sandwich. It was 250 at most. Like, it's already cooked. You're just it's leftover. You're heating it up. You're heating it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're just toasting that toast.
Yeah, because if we're getting technical here, it's about the details.
Jolly Rancher cinnamon, throwback to liquor visits after school is out. How were you drinking liquor there?
I do feel like the Jolly Rancher cinnamon was the element I was trying to get at, and I could not remember. Like, once it said that out, because I was going, there's like a spice there. That is exactly like, that was such a great description.
Really, I don't get that. I don't pick that up. I don't pick it. I don't pick up any of that weird like cinnamon or like fireballness or.
When I first nosed it, it was in there, but now, there's so many other things that have happened.
Yeah, towards the finish, I get that kind of cinnamon burn, just in the alcohol, but not a lot.
I noticed the ginger a lot more since that was mentioned too.
Yeah,
that spice there. Yeah.
So, Brian, how did you get involved with whiskey? What was your gateway whiskey?
Yeah, so my whiskey journey started off on a pretty high note, actually. Way back in the day, over a decade ago. The first whiskey that I ever tried was the Balvenie 14-year Caribbean cask. Wow. Not a bad start.
Not a bad start. Kind of exotic to start.
Yeah, but I actually thought it was too sweet, and I liked it. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, I just thought it was too sweet. And then I tried a couple more whiskeys after that, and then the first one that really like blew my mind out of the water was the Caol Ila 12-year. And just a lot of spice, a lot of like warm, like complex notes that were so different from Speyside at the time, and just from my limited experience. And not quite like as peaty, but still more, and like enough to, add a lot of difference from Speyside. So
right. Was that your first introduction to peat? Was that Caol Ila 12?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your go-to? Like, what do you drink like on the reg? Like, what's your like not like I'm gonna have a fancy whiskey, but like my daily drink? What do you like?
Oh, right now I am going through a bottle of Glenbergie 14-year that I really enjoy. It's basically like drinking just like green apple juice. It is so good. It is just bright and acidic and such a clean, like pure flavor. It's just delightful. And I think it's really good for these warmer months as it's starting to pick up now. So that'll probably carry me a little bit through.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Oh, well, my day-to-day, I just finished a bottle last night, Ugadal, Ardbeg Ugadal, just always just boom, boom, boom. It just hits the pocket every single time.
Perfect.
And that price to value ratio is out of this world.
Yeah.
And I don't care if anybody's been complaining that like the quality of the bottling has changed over the years. It's still a damn good bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. Also like Port Charlotte, I think, just like a standard 10-year Port Charlotte is great whiskey. But Ugadal is what I would agree with Andrew.
Number one. My number two is probably the classic Laddie, if I want something that's not peated. Well, let's go on to whiskey number 2 here. I'm drinking the blood of my enemies. Good for you, Paul 2D2. This is the Old Curiosity Shop. A little nod to Dickens there. 55.53. It is a Royal Brackla. Royal Brackla.
Now, this is an exciting one for me. I have never had a Royal Brackla before, so.
Neither have I. Yeah, that's
Oh boy.
That is
Green branches.
It does seem like a curiosity shop. Like I feel like there's a lot going on in here. Like it's very complicated. There's a lot of different smells. Like I feel like I've walked into an apothecary.
Let's see. As I'm looking at my reference guide right now, this is the 53rd distillery I've tried.
Like it's a
So you mean that you've tasted this before, or this is the 52nd distillery you're trying?
Number 53 that I'm trying.
Yeah. Right now.
Right now.
Wow.
Ooh, this is curious indeed.
Yeah, I feel it's like an apothecary, like this is the house, like is a wizard's house, and there's like stuff on the shelves everywhere, all sorts of weird unguents and
lots of like herbs and like mustiness and
and like chimera eyes and like hippogriff talons and like all sorts of definitely very curious.
A lot of flowers tied with strings dangling from the ceiling, drying. Yeah. Paul TP asks, is there a better whiskey for a specific event like gaming or video gaming or maybe a graduation? I think all whiskeys are appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, like this is like Miracle Max's house. Like that's what I would say. It's like this is, Oh, Brian's going in.
I'm going in.
Okay.
This is my favorite whiskey.
It is.
This is my favorite whiskey.
Whew.
It's like leather boots in the finish.
I feel like I'm eating like a meal, like an entire meal all at once, or biting into like a nice piece of meat. But it could also be leather boots. It could be leather boots that have been cooked by a master chef. Like I'm like, okay, I'm eating leather boots, but these are delicious leather boots.
Bob Dylan's boots of Spanish leather, perhaps.
Brian, did you say grapes?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could definitely like grape leaves, like a bit of grape leaves, like Dolmas a bit, or the taste in the taste. Wow, yeah, there's just so much going on in here. It's interesting because there's a lot going on, but it doesn't. It all seems to kind of fit together. You know what I mean? Like it all, it's an expanse of different things, but they all work well together.
Yeah.
They don't like nothing like it. I'm not like going like I don't. There's a lot of stuff and I can't. It's like it's all perfect. It all fits.
Some sort of citrus.
Yeah, it feels sort of like. Yeah, it feels like a Harry Potter like magic spell that just kind of like expands and like just kind of blossoms into like this weird sort of like smoke machine and
yeah, and it's just kind of endless. Like you keep going down this corridor thinking, oh, that's the end of the thing, and you turn and it's like, oh no, there's a whole other aisle down here full of things, full of flavors.
Yeah, it is like Alice in Wonderland where you're floating down that that hole and there's just like pictures and stuff on the wall and it just keeps going forever. There's always
I don't know if it's like the grape thing, but it makes me think of like different shades of purple. I don't know why. I've never associated a whiskey with color before, but for some reason I'm just thinking of all the different shades of purple for some reason.
I would say purple and green. Like I feel like there's purple and green in here.
I think this brings out synesthesia. What is it?
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
Yeah, no, I definitely get synesthesia sometimes when I'm tasting whiskey.
I really love the ABV on this one too. Like I feel like it adds just a perfect amount of interesting notes and balance and like, I don't feel like this like it would come through at a lower ABV. I feel like I don't think it would do like what it did with the Rusty Claymore and kind of perk it up. I feel like it would muddle it a little bit. I guess we'll find out, but
yeah, I mean, I feel this is delicate, and I don't think water's going to help it. I'm worried that it's going to knock that. It's like a boulder balanced on top of a point, and like I'm worried it's going to roll it down.
Wow.
Like this, it's a fine tapestry that's carefully, or like one of those. I'm coming up with so many analogies right now.
Fantastic.
Like one of those sand drawings, you know what I mean? Like a mandala that you put on the ground, like to meditate, right? It takes, but you just blow it all away.
Do they list what kind of bourbon it was? Like, was it like first fill, second fill?
They generally do. This said it was
refill Ex-Bourbon Hogshead is what it says here on the bottle.
Yeah. That's as much information as you get.
Oh man, yeah, it has such a nice citrus flavor in there.
Wow, really enjoy this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to put water in it. But for science.
But for science. I'm actually curious now, like how many Royal Bracklas have I had?
I'm going to science it. You guys don't have to. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I've got 2.
I'm just making my tasting notes right now for future journaling. Got to keep all my whiskey tastings in order.
The nose is much more savory to me. Like, I feel like this is, now it is like a delicious meal. Like, it is so much like a perfectly cooked piece of meat.
All right, I'm going in then.
But that's just the nose. I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah, let's see.
Something light at the end, though.
The nose is a lot less interesting, but it is more specific. I do get more of that like meatiness. It's
since starting doing the science on it, since putting water in the whiskey, it's been surprising to me how many times the nose gets knocked down with water, which is completely backwards to what the science tells us should happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like the nose though. It becomes more green branch for me.
Not like grilled meat, but like more
braised meat.
Actually, like medium, right? like really like medium rare, like bloody meat, like not like super like charred smoky meat.
I think like a beef bourguignon, where it's like been braised in like a red wine or something, where it's just super savory and falling apart. I'm interested to see because I tasted it. Like it packs more of a punch. I feel like, and I don't know that I like the flavor more with the water.
I wouldn't say I do either. It's a lot more straightforward.
Yeah,
I feel like it sort of condenses all the flavors that we were experiencing pre-water and just sort of slams them all together in a sort of one just straight shot.
It's like spicy citrus, or you know.
Oh, it collapsed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's disappointing.
That's why we do water second.
Yep. That's why you do the science. That's so disappointing. Oh,
it really is. Like I get more of that cinnamon Jolly Rancher in this with the water than I did in the previous one. Like it's, or like Red Hots. Like it's like burning my mouth with the water. Like it hurts.
Well, since we're already in it, I'm just gonna go with even more water and see what just a
whoa
crap ton of water does.
Yep. I mean, at this point,
it really separates it. I can it looks interesting. Let's see. Ooh. I like it more than a little bit of water. I like it with a lot of water.
Huh.
Interesting. I've already drank mine, but
you know what? It's
with a lot of water, bringing it down to like I don't know,
closer to bottle strength,
like 46 maybe, or I don't know. I don't know, but it's noticeably lighter than 59. Not anywhere as interesting, but a lot more crushable and kind of just bright and citrusy.
Yeah, it's a lot more friendly with more water.
Do you do that often, Brian? Put a little extra water in after you've tried a drop or two? That's interesting. I've not done that before.
Sometimes, yeah. If I don't like something with water, I'll put in more water just to commit.
Yeah. At that point, I mean, you're not ruining it any further.
I'm not ruining it. Yeah. And sometimes it surprises me, and I think this is one of the cases where I 100% would not add a bunch of water to this just to do it. But if I already had water in it, I'm going to add more water. Like, it's so much better without water, but if you're going to add water, do a lot of it.
Science.
So how many Royal Bracklas have you say that you ended up trying, Andrew?
I'm pretty sure at our Wishkabetha Whiskey Society at work, I'm certain I've tried 1 or 2 there, and I've got 2 in my collection. I've got this one and another SMWS called the Metaphysical Mystery Tour. So I think Brackla produces these very odd casks that have these, just from that name. Oh, let me read the tasting
it's
notes.
A Highland. It's a Highland, right?
Yes, Speyside.
Are you sure it says Highland on this map?
Well, it says Speyside on the label.
Yeah, it's right there.
Let me read the tasting notes from the SMWS here. We encountered a curious nose combining straw, basketry, and putty with treacle tarts.
I think it's treacle.
Treacle tarts, sorry. Old English spangles. My accent made it say treacle. Old English spangles and cereal bars with chocolate, honey, raisins, and dates. The palate had orange and lemon jelly slices, pomegranate and blood orange, San Pellegrino, and then aniseed balls and humbugs to finish.
Humbugs,
yeah.
Delicious humbugs.
that makes it more Dickens. The reduced nose discovered hot cross buns, mulled wine, and pomanders, and a dry cleaners next to an apothecary's next to a tobacconist. Yeah, I think we felt that.
Yeah.
The palate now had lovely, soft, sweet, syrupy fruits, dark honey and brown sugar, cherry pie, and spotted dick with a long-lasting finish of Victory V's. I don't know what those, Hall's Soothers and stem ginger in syrup. Wow.
Oh my God. There's so many like references to like British food in there. Like,
yeah.
Oh, pass me the Victory V's. We're having a black tea, and Victory V's go so well with the black tea.
Would you like some spotted dick before you chow down on the Hall Soothers?
Far too early for spotted dick. It's too early in the evening.
It just makes me feel like we need to have curiosity shops in the United States, and we need to be a lot more interesting with our foods over here.
Yeah. Name them.
Yeah.
Name them better. Well, that was delightful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Bryan, what you got anything coming up that you want to promote? Anything you're doing that people should pay attention to?
Oh, geez, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing these days. I feel like I'm just coming out of the bubble. I've been working on an interesting project. Speaking of the glasses, who knows where this is going to lead? But whiskey related, I am starting to consider the idea of experimenting with my own whiskey glasses and potentially making some of my own.
Oh, so, do you blow glass? Like, is this something you know how to do?
No, I certainly do not blow glass. I wish I could. Maybe that's something I should be exploring. But, after, just drinking a lot of whiskey over the course of my life, drinking out of a lot of different glassware, I don't know. I feel like just something could be a little bit more honed than a typical Glencairn. And so I'd like to, experiment with that a little bit. So over the last month or so, it's just been me sort of dabbling into different shapes, thinking about things I've been working on with a friend of mine who does 3D renders. And sometime around next month, going to start printing off some 3D printed glasses and start getting into the actual physical side of things and see what it looks like.
Can you 3D print glass at this point?
You can't 3D print glass, but you can 3D print clear plastic. And you can print in a pretty high resolution. So at the very least, what it will give me a sense of is the shape and the general feel of it in the hand, how well it does affect the nose or not, and the general shape and structure should still be there, so it should still correlate to that of actual glass. So that's what I'm working on. Who knows where that's going to lead? Who knows if it'll pan out? But we'll see.
SMWS basically came out of people just going and experimenting with something. So you never know.
Yeah,
I love the whiskey world.
Yeah, I love glassware. I think it's just a fun little thing, and whether it's the big old tulips or the Glencairns or the mini drammers or just another long stem, anything. So we'll see, but that's my.
Promise me when you find the perfect glass that you go, it's alive. Promise me that you'll do that.
Yeah, I think to begin with, I'll try to find more of the universal one. But ideally, I'd like to branch out and find one that works for like the cash strengths and works for the peated ones, and get a little bit more specific, because it's like you look at wine and you look at all the different wine glasses that are out there, and I mean, I'm not a wine connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination, but you see glasses for light Pinots, you see big old glasses for old wines, and you see Sauvignon Blancs, and like you just see all like the different varieties of glasses. So for whiskey, why is there not something similar?
I think you may be unleashing a little cottage industry for yourself. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, when you have some glasses to test, we'll have to.
Says he's on the hunt for Underberg glasses.
I'm Googling it right now. I have no idea what this is.
What's an Underberg glass?
I don't know.
Is it a really thin, tall thing like that? Is that
Underberg?
I prefer the Overberg glasses myself.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a
like an aperitif glass or like digestif glass. Okay.
Yeah. Really tall. That looks fascinating.
So
but not for whiskey. I think not. But for like a little, highball or something. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. I would just be constantly worried about knocking that over.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to have a special box that you put that in after you've washed it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Stimulating sedation. I love the dichotomy of the two directions of mindfulness. This
is the Four Loko of whiskey, apparently.
The Four Loko.
13.78. This is a I should remember, but I don't have the right window open because I was Googling. A Dalmore, the Dalmore. Sorry, not just Dalmore, the Dalmore.
The Dalmore.
Don't want to upset them. First fill barrel, 12 years old, 61%. That they got 61% after 12 years is pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's.
Thanks. So this is a candy store smell to me, but very specifically, I think saltwater taffy. So it's so rich, or like a very light fudge, like not like a chocolate fudge, but like a white chocolate. Or
I'm getting like new shoe.
Oh yeah, or shoe polish, like specifically shoe polish. If shoe polish was kind of sweet, like if it was flavored with vanilla.
Liquor and liqueur connoisseur, we have smell-o-vision sniff.
Yeah.
Kind of like black licorice almost a little bit.
Oh, yes. I get that.
A bit of that.
Like that's the shoe polish end of it. It's
yeah.
Oh, it's got such a nice like sweetness to it though. Like whatever that flavor is, there's a bit like almost a delicious pastry in there. Like I want to say like a chocolate croissant, but without the chocolate. I know you're just going to say that's just a croissant, but it has like the same sweetness as a chocolate croissant without the chocolate. Maybe like a white chocolate croissant?
Like a flaky pastry-esque sort of thing with a lot of butter, right? Like.
Maybe like an almond croissant.
Oh, and all of these, have a really, really nice color.
That paste in the almond croissant, that.
Oh man.
Yeah, very pastry-esque, like crackers, like graham crackers.
I see like a cobblestone street in Paris with a bakery next to a chocolate shop.
Yeah, the Pastry Avenue.
Yeah, I think marzipan. There definitely could. Yeah, I could see this being some marzipan. And it's funny because like white chocolate and marzipan are not things that I generally like, but like in this smell, it makes me want them.
Oh, yes. That's what I get the taste. Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, whoa.
That's not what I was expecting.
No, this is my favorite whiskey. This is my favorite whiskey.
Wow.
A lot of SMWSs are my favorite whiskey, though.
That is a very different take than what you get on the nose there.
Yeah. It does not prepare you.
This is going to be a very weird tasting note, but I get kind of like a fertilizer-esque sort of thing going on.
Like, that little funkiness, yeah.
Like a really like potent earth kind of thing going.
It's like a rum cake mixed with a mud pie.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting.
It is really rich and loamy. Like I do feel like I'm taking a bite of like earth, you know, but like delicious earth.
Yeah, a lot of earth, like a lot of like big grass, like not like the little like lawn grass, but like outside like tall grass.
Oh,
man,
I like that taste
so
a lot more than the nose.
But I still love the nose. Like the nose is so good. It's a nice reciprocation. Like I like the nose and then the flavor, and then the flavor like reinforces the nose. Like it's a good synergy. Oh boy. Yeah, it's like a burning, like a bonfire outside with a bunch of like long grass on it.
It's wet grass.
Wet grass,
so
yeah.
It's giving that sizzle smokiness.
Yeah.
Now I haven't had too many Dalmores, but this feels pretty different from what I've had from them before.
I would agree.
Like they're generally super smooth.
Yeah.
And this is
this feels like a pretty big departure.
Yeah, this is like we're giving you flavor, and you're gonna notice it.
And I wonder how much of that is a product of these independent bottlers coming along and saying we want to buy a cask, and the distillery going, this does not fit our flavor profile. Do you like it? Yeah, okay, here you go, it's yours. Or if they're just picking them at random, I don't know, but it feels to me like that would be a good way to get rid of inventory that does not meet the flavor profile that your owner wants for their
100%. Yeah. Now, do you find that you typically enjoy independent bottlings more than distillery bottlings, or where do you sort of end up on that spectrum?
I'm of the opinion that you get more interesting things out of the independent bottlers because you're getting single cask expressions, which is a lot different than what you're getting when you get something vatted by a distillery or something that's blended by someone outside. So for me, it's just interesting to explore that distillery and see what kind of range of output they can give. So yes, I've had disappointing old particulars. I've even had disappointing SMWSs. I've never had a bad one.
Right.
But then I've also had the lyrical ones where you're like, oh my God, there's only 258 bottles of this in the world, and this is one of them.
And that's the other thing is like it's like a flavor that you may never get to taste again. Like it's yeah.
So Brian, I know you have an opinion about that.
Yeah, what's your thought?
Yeah, I am not an ageist snob at all, but I definitely find that like the older distillery bottlings I find have a lot more similarity to modern independent bottlings in terms of very like particular flavor profiles that are not as common in current distillery bottles, where they're a little bit more vatted and they're a little more homogeneous. So yeah, I generally like the IBs, but I think there are a few distilleries, like particularly the newer ones, I feel like, that just really know who they are and do such a perfect job doing their own bottlings. Like I feel like Kilchoman is one of them, and they do such a variety of interesting casks and everything. But despite trying and experimenting with so many different casks, they still have like a very distinct thing going on.
Yeah, they make a really great spirit and a lot of bourbon and sherry casks and marriages of that for their bottling. But yeah, some other.
That's a really good point.
I feel like Brackla as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love the experiments that are coming out of there. Even though Jim McEwen's moved on, I think Adam was the great person to hand it off to. Adam had it. I just had the ternary last night.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the Instagram. Oh boy,
we're gonna have to try that at some point. It's a blend of 30% Brackla, 40% Port Charlotte, and 30% Octomore.
That's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
The youngest age statement in there is a 12 or 13-year-old. It says bottled. It was filled 2008. So doing the math, it's like, well, it could be 12, could be 13, depending on what month it was. Very exciting. Anyways, we're talking about a different whiskey. We're talking about this one now.
Talking about this whiskey. Yeah, this is not what I would call smooth at all.
No.
For sure. Like
no,
it's not at all.
I feel
sometimes
the 61%.
But like I've had a 61% whiskey that was smooth, so it is interesting that it's like, I think science might do something interesting with this just because it has such a punch to it.
It really feels like a serrated knife, just kind of just like just slices just straight down your mouth, like.
Yeah, I'm getting more stimulation than sedation out of that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know where sedation comes in here. Like,
yeah, I'm not feeling the calmness at all. Like that at the end, I am stimulated. It's burning. It's present. And it hangs out for a long time. Thad, you're tasting.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Our technician Thad.
I'm gonna go against the grain with y'all. I do understand where they get the sedation. What I got off of the nose was green. More specifically, also got watermelon candies and some cherry cheesecake. Also there, deep down in there.
Watermelon candies.
On the palate, there's a lot going on. Honestly, very hard to discern. But the finish is where I think they get this the sedation, because for me the finish, it was a nice smooth, like plum wine type of finish for me. So
it does kind of numb the mouth a bit, which I guess would be considered sedation. I just put some science in here, and I have to say this nose is real funky in a very interesting way. Like it's
funky. Get more fertilizer there. Let's see.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, there's definitely more organic decay or something going on.
Ooh, yeah. That just unleashed it, like it.
Yeah. I get the. There's a lot of fallen trees in this forest, and the mushrooms are taking over.
Yeah, it's turning into a swamp. It's on its way to a swamp.
It's on its way to becoming peat.
So far, with the nose and the water, good first impressions. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, that's yummy. That's yummy.
Wow. I feel like the heat is of the same intensity, but it changes its quality in a way that's somehow more palatable. Like before, it was a painful heat, and now it's like kind of like a comforting heat.
What did you say? A cherry shortbread or something?
I was going to say strawberries. I get strawberries.
I was debating between strawberries or cherries, but I just went with cherry just because that's what I've had most. So I was like, eh.
Yeah, I could say like a strawberry shortcake or like a cherry and strawberry shortcake.
I get that shortcake a lot more with the water.
Yeah.
This is a lot more interesting with the water.
This is a meal. This is, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is a lot more sweet, I think, with the water.
So much more sweet.
I feel like my breath could catch fire, though, if I had an open flame.
Yeah. Well, we're going up. We're going on this adventurous African safari.
There's still a step up right now. That's the crazy thing. Okay, we're gonna have to put I'm putting a cap on that. We can come back to it after the show or later, but we have to move on. And one of my close friends in university used to love Singleton. It was the go-to for her. She always loved it. But this is from Auchroisk. This is Adventurous African Safari. It's a 7-year-old. It is SMWS 95.37. 7-year-old. Yeah, I said that. Okay. 62%. We've gone up another percentage. Will we survive?
Nice brown color to it.
Yes. It is a Ex-Bourbon Hogshead, so it's a first fill. I've obviously gotten a lot of the color from the burn of the barrel, because that's a lot darker than I would expect out of a bourbon barrel.
Now
let's clear the palate a little bit. Gotta refresh the face a little bit, after all that ABV. You start to lose like the tasting notes when your whole palate just turns into one giant mess of 60 ABV.
Sorry, Thad, what were you saying? Oh, and second full red wine.
Yeah, it's so the initial cask is a Hogshead Ex-Bourbon, and then they finish it off in a second fill ex-red wine cast.
Oh, that's why we're getting that. Okay, I missed that part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a candy once again like that candy store area to me, but this is like a candy store that sells exclusively maple candy. Like it's like a Canadian candy store that, and it's made from a very rich, like I don't know, like the wood in that store is like an old, rich, well stained wood.
Now look at that
kind of smell.
That looks like a sunset, right? Like that looks like the edge of a sunset. Like that is a gorgeous color. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, that's the color they're trying to get when they put colorings, I think, into whiskey. That's what they're trying to make it look like. You know what I mean? Like
they're trying to go for this color. Absolutely.
That is yeah.
This nose is spectacular.
It is.
Cow.
Like I'm willing to say this is my favorite whiskey just based on the nose.
Yeah, this is my favorite whiskey. Yeah, for sure.
This is a nose you could sit in for a long time.
Oh,
yeah. So rich.
Give me a candle of this, honestly.
I wish there was a candle that smelled like this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a
look at you, Andrew, just sitting back, relaxing. Like I like it. Just
It's like a hot tub filled with caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caramel and the maple.
Yeah.
This takes me. In Canada, I don't know if they have them here, but there was like maple leaf cookies, and I think they were like shortbread with like they were like Oreo filling in the middle, but it was a maple flavor and maple leaf cookies, and just that's what that is.
That's what I was thinking about when I said the candy store is like those rich maple cookies. But
it's one of the dark, like Demerara or like rum. Like there's like just like dark sweet notes, you know.
Yeah,
oh, man,
crack cookies, exactly.
They're too sweet for me. Like I like and I like the smell of this, but it's one of those smells that it's like there's nothing that can taste as good as this smells. I don't think there's. It's like the smell of baked bread.
I'm having a hard time wanting to drink this because I'm just like.
Yeah. Oh, but look at Andrew. I got it. Okay, we got to taste.
You know what?
Okay, we got like cheers.
It delivers.
Nothing
could taste as good as that smells. This can.
Holy fuck! I love it.
It is maple. It is crazy maple,
but not overwhelmingly sweet. Like it's very smooth maple. It's maple to the perfect degree. Oh man, Thad, what do you think?
Oh my god, I fucking love this whiskey. Like, this is.
I think it is delicious. I'm gonna go with Joseph though. Like, it tastes fantastic, but the nose is just on a whole nother level for me, past the taste.
So like it tastes great, but the nose there's nothing that can taste as good as this nose is.
I would have called this maple syrup rather than Adventurous African Safari. So I'm interested to know their tasting notes. Oh, we didn't do the tasting notes in the last one. Maybe we'll get to it at the end.
Wow. Yeah.
I will say it's 62%. This is extremely smooth.
Yes.
Yeah. Like extremely.
Compared to the last two, I don't even notice the alcohol. It's crazy.
How is that possible? Is that just acclimation, or is it because it's legitimately smooth? You know what I mean? Like if I had another like 3 whiskeys that had the same percentage leading up to this, would it be as smooth? I don't know.
This takes me back to like winter festivals in Canada where they would put a stick in some ice and they'd pour maple syrup on it and it would harden because it was so cold, and you'd pick it up and you just like and just chew on the maple syrup off the stick.
That sounds great. Never done that, but I should.
Oh yeah, you should.
Yeah, it's like someone has taken whatever the essence of the stuff, like the caramelized sugar on top of a creme brulee, just the essence of it, like pulled the soul out of it and put it into a bottle.
Yeah, but not like the cream below it, just the caramelized sugar that's on top.
Yep.
So we have to read the tasting notes from them to figure out how they got African from this, because this is Canada. Sorry.
The two places are very similar in so many ways.
I'm gonna I'm gonna just go in and amend the title and just call it the African Safari Sunset, like, because that's what I can. I don't know if I call this like midday, like peak heat, middle of Africa, but like setting sun, kind of like romantic and like glowing, and the trees are just like kind of backlit. This.
I could definitely
Hence
see
at the
like,
edge of the
especially the
savannah.
taste of it being in a place like sitting somewhere, that Indiana Jones would go. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like everything is, but
it has a little romance to it, like that.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Maybe it's like you have to have been to Africa to really, like, maybe there's some specific noses or flavors in here that are,
Right. Maybe this is what a baobab tree tastes like. Like,
yeah.
who knows?
Maybe it's like lion flesh. I mean, I don't, or giraffes. I don't know. I've smelled giraffes though, and they don't smell like this. So I guess.
No. But have you barbecued a giraffe? Because some barbecued giraffe in here.
What's going to happen is we're going to go to Africa at some point in our lives. We're going to be like, this looks a lot like a whiskey we tasted.
Right.
They'll be like, what?
Should I read this one? You want me to read the tasting notes, Andrew, or do you want to read them?
Let's figure it out. Yeah, go ahead.
The nose neat immediately made us think of rum and raisin ice cream topped with a fresh raspberry sauce and a crunchy chocolate shell. On the palate, the picture of a savanna grassland fire with jumping antelopes looking for safety emerged with an intense red fruit flavor in the finish. And then there's after a drop of water, which we haven't put water in this yet, so I won't read that yet. So
okay, well, let's go in for the water.
Try some science.
And
this is so good. This is one of those ones that's so good. I don't want to put water in, but I'm gonna take a sip first. I'm just gonna.
The maple in the nose is knocked down.
So good. All right.
But there's something else coming out.
It's so mapley. It's so mapley. Yeah.
Okay.
That nose is not as amazing with water. Like before it was amazing. And now it's not bad.
It's
more citrusy.
Here. And I'm just gonna do the opposite of what I did earlier and just like 2 small drops and just slowly drop my way.
Oh.
This is like whoa, look at Andrew. All right. For me, the nose is like oranges with dipped in maple now. But
it becomes even smoother on the palate.
Yeah, I would say that this is like an orange creamsicle, but not like a soda, like not like the bright orange creamsicle soda that you would picture, but like one with like blood oranges and like grilled oranges almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an orange that's been caramelized.
Yeah. Reduced. Yes. Oh boy.
It has a bit more heat to it. Like it's smoother but the finish has more heat. Like it's smoother in the attack. All right. After a drop of water, this image moved on as we sat on the veranda of a safari lodge, smoking a sweet cigar while watching a lioness with her cubs walking into the sunset across the African savannah. After 5 years in an ex-bourbon hogshead, we transferred this whiskey into a second fill-charred red wine barrique. Now that's like the most abstract thing. Like they didn't even talk about flavors. They were literally just like, this reminded me of the time I was in Africa and I watched a lioness, with her cubs. Like I feel like someone was like, no, this was what it reminds me of. Because usually they have a lot more specific flavors. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a visual memory. I don't know. But I think it's fantastic that Bryan actually pulled out the sunset over the savannah, and that's what the note said. It's like, wow. Nailed it.
And you said there was a red wine cask in here too?
Yeah, it was finished in a second fill charred red wine barrique.
Well, maybe that's the secret. But for me, I found that a lot of whiskey aged in predominant red wine casks, I don't like. I find them too musty. But maybe it's just I need it to be finished in a red wine cask, not an entire aging process.
So maybe you don't like a lot of, well, no, Brackla uses a lot of white wine casks.
And I love the white wine casks.
Yeah.
Like you give me a Sauternes cask and I will chop off my hand and I'll give it to you. You want a kidney? Sure, have it.
Oh dear.
It sounds to me, Brian, like you fucking love whiskey.
I do. And if you give me, like, Brackla just came out with the 14-year-old Sauternes. And I mean, I don't care what you have to spend on that thing, but please do. I mean, don't, or do it and then give me some, but like,
or wait until I get one and then you can go in. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I mean, oh God, that's, yeah. You get the sweetness that you get here too. It flips with the water. The nose isn't as great, but the mouthfeel is better. And the so trade-offs, but that nose is still special without water.
Yeah, and yeah, I maybe see how it evokes like an African safari in someone's mind, but for me, it's maple, and this is home. This is like, a trip to Montreal or to Ottawa or, growing up in Calgary, just like.
So basically, you're just pouring this on top of your pancakes?
Yes. Oh my God. I want pancakes now covered in this.
Absolutely. I'm definitely getting I get a bit of the nose. Like when I do the nose now, there is something exotic in there or like evocative of like, a faraway place. So maybe that's it, but the maple's still there.
Yeah. This is my childhood.
I get the maple a lot more with water.
Oh. Dad, are you do you have any dissenting opinion on this, or are you in concurrence?
No, I'm right there in there with you guys on this one. All the way. This is sweet maple. On the nose, like I get like kind of earthiness far out there, but I wouldn't say that's safari. I could see like if you've been to Africa and you run with the gazelles, you could pick that out. But me personally, nah.
That's a nice one for sure.
That's really good.
Definitely an adventurous Canadian safari.
And the surprising thing here is that 7-year-old age. Like that's, I mean, I don't know if I'd pick out that 7. Like it tastes younger because it has that just really intense, just straight up flavor. But 7 years feels a little young. I mean, I'd put maybe 3 to 5 years on this thing at least.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated for like a 7-year.
Yeah, has a lot more depth.
Oh, sorry, liquor connoisseur. Wait, I typed the wrong number.
So have you guys been happy to have this podcast or vlogcast over this virus this year? I mean, it's been tough getting through it, and man, an excuse to drink, especially this much good stuff. I mean, must have been a joy, right?
It really is. This is as close as we can get to what we were doing, pre-pandemic. Is just like hanging out with friends, trying whiskeys together, and talking about the flavors we're getting. And this show was always fun. I have never not had fun on the show.
It's like a keystone in my week. Like it's something to look forward to.
Sure. And the Scotch, I do think the Scotch thinks about you.
Can't really see it on the Twitch, but yeah, I hope it.
And
does.
we're so lucky to have the guests for the show too. Like it's so nice to just meet a different person every week and share some whiskey with them. Like it's so awesome, Brian, for you to do the show. We really appreciate you and all of our guests. Like it's just it makes it so nice. It's part of it.
It's nice to meet like-minded spirits, pun intended. And yeah, I mean, it totally came about by like just a friend of a friend, referring along.
But you intimidated me because I usually send out the mail saying, hey, what kind of whiskey do you like or don't like? Like, do you like the peated stuff? And you came back and said, well, I like this and I like this. And then also, the what was it, Bora? Yeah, he brought up a silent distillery. Something's been defunct now for many years, and he goes, "Well, I like the flavor of that." I'm like, "Oh fuck, this guy knows a lot of whiskey."
Yeah, let me send this along. Let me put this up here. Yeah, for me, it's like I love it. It's just so great to try all the different distilleries. I mean, there's 128 distilleries that have like since 1975, and I've gotten through 53 of them. Like,
I'm glad to be able to add a number for you today. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's one of the reasons I have the SMWS and go to the particulars and all these other independent bottlers is to try and knock off as many distilleries as I can to say, yes, I've had it. Yeah, okay, I kind of know the flavor profile.
And have you guys been diving into any of the newer whiskeys from any of the ones that have popped up, like the new distilleries that have popped up in the last like 10 years, 5 years or so?
Trying to?
Yeah.
Like
there's a lot of whiskeys.
I love Rasse while we wait, but I can't get an actual Rasse here.
No. I just got a bottle of the Torabag, and it is 100% a 3-year whiskey. There's no denying that is a 3-year whiskey, but I mean, I'm excited to try that at 10 years or whatever. Like, it's got a lot of promise. It feels a lot like the Highland Park that we drank earlier. It's got just the younger essence of it. It's got just a lot of that salinity and that rustiness, but you can really see like the promise and potential in this thing. So, and it's nice too because they like in the actual bottle they tell you all of the different peat that they use. They tell you how much they smoke it. They tell you the barley that they're using. Like, they get into the details and they talk about the process, and like that transparency is really nice.
That's good.
That's like that. That's the future.
Yeah, I think that's we want to know that stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about all the stuff that like it's just blowing up, and it's just there's going to be more and more things, of more and more distilleries that are making stuff available, and it's exciting. It's an exciting time, I think, to enjoy the Aqua Vitae.
I'm looking forward to Ardnahoe coming out with something. And have you tried any of the Waterford, the Jim McEwen's next very terroir? Or not Jim, but
sorry, while I reach behind the laptop, but
you've got it, don't you? There it is. And so, what do you think? I've obviously tried one of them.
Wasn't me.
Don't spill anything. Don't spill anything.
I've got I just got these in the mail last week, and I have yet to do a back-to-back tasting. So I need to compare all of them. I had one Waterford a couple months ago, and I don't remember which one it was, honestly, but I really enjoyed it. And so I'm curious now to do the back-to-back of all 4 of them and really, dive into the different ones. I just did a vertical of all of the local barleys as well, and that was really interesting.
What does that mean for people that don't know what a vertical of all the local barleys are?
Yeah, so Springbank has they do their local barley bottling, and they are diving into how the French word of terroir affects
like Waterford,
profiles of whiskey, and they have been doing a bunch of different tastings with different bottlings using different grains and seeing how that affects the flavor profile. It's been pretty interesting, and I think you can really taste the difference. I wish that they had stuck to a particular age statement across the entire range. So they vary between 9 and 16 years. And it makes it a little tough to judge between the different grains and varietals. You taste anything between a 9 and 16-year range, and it's going to taste different inherently, right? Yeah. But you can definitely notice they use the same types of casks. they stick within the same ABV, more or less a little bit, depending on the age statement. They do vary it by that. But I mean, it's really interesting. And yeah, so it's nice to see all of the new distilleries really thinking about that too. And I want to see more of it.
Yeah, and one thing I've actually been doing as well is looking at the malted whiskeys that are coming out of the U.S. right now. Like Balcones is doing one, and up north, what do I forget all the time? Oregon.
The one that Kelly had on the show.
Yes.
Was like West.
That's hard.
Something.
Westland.
Anyway.
And then I'm going to Denver next week, and we'll be going to Stranahan's, and they're doing a single malt. Like, so, you know, like America, you know, is like getting into the single malt thing, and now, and that's really exciting. And you've got the new bourbon distilleries and everything coming up aboard, like Peerless, which is really doing exciting stuff too. So,
which I've not tasted, I've not tried that yet.
Yeah, you know, I've been trying to dive into bourbon a little bit, but I'm a Scotch boy at heart. Like that's where I am. There's no denying that.
I agree. Tech Bobot whiskey helped them get through 2020, and I agree with you. It's one of the little bastions of sanity. I want to go back and I want to read the stimulating sedation notes.
Oh, all right.
Before we go on. There was a true dichotomy on the nose, neat with the fresh, clean scent of wood polish, window cleaner, washed linen, and quality white paper in one hand. Whilst, and they use the word whilst, which has been shown to cause cancer in laboratory mice. Whilst paper on the other hand, white paper on the one hand, whilst on the other, coal dust, slightly burned barbecue pineapple rings, and Earl Grey tea. On the palate, it felt at first like an anesthetic injection at the dentist. But after the numbness went, the wonderful sweet taste of fresh sun-kissed strawberries took over, diluted a sweet perfumed earthiness filled the room, and we enjoyed a cup of sweet lemon verbena tea with a touch of cinnamon spice. So did we get that? I don't know.
I got the linens.
Yeah.
And you had just mentioned the Isle of Razay. I got some.
You're killing me. You're killing me, Brian. You're killing me.
I'm just. I realized that was right next to me too. So, you know, my whole desk is just covered in whiskey samples. If anybody came into my office and took a look, it would.
But they're in little bottles. They would just think that you're like, you know, you have essential oils or something. No one expects whiskey to come in these tiny bottles unless
my girlfriend actually does work with essential oils and has an Etsy shop where she bottles like royal rollers and oils, and it's really great. Zen blends.
There you go.
Not to throw anything out too much.
But. Brian, I hate to get serious as we come to the end of the show here, but
yes, let's get serious.
Joseph and I have a question that we need to ask you in all seriousness. Like, and I feel like I've gotten to know you over this last hour, and I feel like I probably can ask this, but if I offend you in any way by asking this question, please don't take it personally.
Okay, I'll brace myself.
We've had 4 whiskeys here today.
Yes. 5. We started with
5. Yes, we had to warm up. Yes, because 57% that. But after those 5 whiskeys, do you like whiskey?
I like it. I love it. And I would say that I fucking love it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I think that's where I am on the spectrum.
Thank you so much for being our guest here today. I want to thank Outpost 13. I've got a list of people to thank. It's over here on this thing underneath my whiskey bottles. Hang on a second.
While he's looking for that, there is a show. I'm in a show tonight at 8:15, Impro TV. That is East Side Noir. It's an improvised noir show that will be with like a multiple multiple time periods through based in Boyle Heights, and you should check it out. It's a combination of Company of Angels and Improv Theater that are putting it together. The cast is amazing. I mean, separate from me, like even if I was not in it, the cast would be amazing. Do not just read that the wrong way. I happen to be in it, and then the rest of the cast is amazing. I'll just put it that way. But check it out.
Impro_TV.
I believe so on Outpost or not, like on Twitch TV. Twitch TV.
Okay, I think I posted it in the chat. So please, please join Joseph later. I will try to be there. I will be there. I won't try. I'll be there. I want to thank our guest. Thank you, Bryan, for stepping in. Thank you, Outpost 13. Thank you, Thaddeus, for being just the most amazing technical. You're an improviser and a great whiskey connoisseur as well. So I really appreciate everything you do for the show. Aaron Harvey for our graphics, Cody Bushy for our bot, and mostly for you guys for tuning in. May 15th, I still have a couple of sample bottle selections left. For $19, you can, if you're in the LA area, you can contact me on the Discord.
Internet? On the internet?
On the Discord and say you want it for $19, which is $4 refundable bottle deposit. So it's only $15 really for May 15th. And you can taste along with us as we do the show live with our very special guest, Timothy Myers. Subscribe to this channel. If you do not subscribe yet, subscribe to this channel, Outpost 13. It's so great. There's great stuff here. Friend Fiction, Made Up Music, Trek Table, Tales by Fire. And then follow us on the YouTubes. And that's all I got to say. I just want to say thank you.
Love it. It's been a joy.
It's been great fun meeting you, Bryan, and talking and loving.
Enjoy some whiskey, like some whiskey, love some whiskey.
Fucking
love some whiskey.
Good night, everyone.
Cheers.